Professional project DG3D2S. So this is your last module on the course, along with your portfolio module. So you're still doing 60 credits this semester, but this is weighted 40, the other is weighted 20. This is what you call a double award. So basically, as you can see, start date of the 30th, start semester 2, sorry, and then you hand in on the 12th of May. This will be your last hand in on the course, and it's taught by Elizabeth and myself. The timetable is online. It's a Monday and Monday to Friday morning session. So it's all about your FMP. So going back to last summer, when you handed in the HE module myself, do you remember we launched the FMP and you worked on ideas? Obviously, we've discussed it this semester, just going at the start. So we've had some conversations. Some of you presented, some people I've had tutorials with. So you got an idea of where you want to go. Those ideas may have changed. So during your time doing the video content, working on your competitive Elizabeth, working on your case study, working on a live brief during internship, or experience an internship, or role you discovered, that may vary. So we're not holding to kind of ransom on that. So we really restart. But I think most of you have already started ideas, research, as I said, during time where you presented or had tutorials with myself and Elizabeth. So basically, you work on this for this module, and then the other module, after you work on your DNA debriefs, plus then you're repackaging and revisiting at the brief. So it's all about graduation content now, and also working with the LinkedIn via the careers team, etc. So this is all about your FMP. So it's a double award. This is a capstone project. It's your flagship brief. So when we have a grad show, when you meet industry, when you start having interviews, this is your go-to project. So if somebody in the street says, "All right, sit down, you've got 10, 15 minutes, or show me your best project, or show me your passion project," this is it. It's really up to you guys what you do. As I said, I think most of you have already started a good chunk of research. If it can be a real problem, so again, if you can reach out to industry for a brief, or a charity, maybe what you've learned on the ad collab when we work with various charities, you could take that further if you wish, if you want to push the motion stuff more, or develop that, or you may decide that you want to work on that in your portfolio module. Again, it's stuff we can decide, but really is your flagship project self-directed. So have a think. Are you an all-rounder? Do you want to specialize in video production? Are you going to into marketing? Are you going to copywriting? Or do you want to have an integrated campaign? It's very, very open. So obviously you want a high skill of artwork, high skill of strategy, research, etc., etc., etc. It is your flagship piece. So as you said, there's no kind of rules to this really. In the past, you've had very prescriptive briefs. This is the client, this is what you have to produce. Think back what you just done with the ad collab stuff. 30-second ad, a 5-second edit. This is the tone of voice, this is the brand guidelines. These are the assets you have to follow. That goes out the window now. It's really up to you guys to write your own brief. So it's a very simple thing, really. So outcomes, critically analyze your work, and applying and understand sophisticated level of creativity, creative thinking, communication, visual presentation skills. So think to what you've got to this point, from marketing, consumers, branding, live projects, presenting to the clients, working with budgets, working on emotion stuff, doing internships, doing placements. This is what you're building up to. It's capped at 80 slides. So less is more, because when you guys are going to job interviews next year in industry, no one wants to see a project of 150, 200 slides. So now you've got to edit, you've got to filter, you've got to think, how am I kind of going to capture the essence of this flagship project in 88 slides? So what I would suggest is make sure you've got your research covered. So maybe 35 slides of research, 35 of development, obviously screenshots, scamps, storyboards, production. Again, it depends what you're going to do. Probably then 8 slides for your outcome. Again, it's going to vary whether you're going to do films, whether you're going to do copy, whether you're going to do social content, web, etc., etc. And then it's all glued together for your analysis. So breaking down the brief, mind maps, benchmarks, etc. We'll go through examples of good FMPs to show you people who've done well in the past, and obviously a nice evaluation at the end. This has to really be your go-to flagship project. So be bold, be creative, be disruptive. You really want to make an impact with this brief, because this is your go-to brief in your portfolio, whether it's an online thing, whether it's social media, whether it's printed, whatever it may be, whether it's a strategy or a marketing plan. So there's not too much really to talk about, because there's not that many rules or restrictions, etc. As I said, there's no brand guidelines, there's no deliverables. Really, you write your own deliverables in the next few weeks. Again, we'll be unpacking it in the next few weeks. So if you can make your client a brand, a charity, government, agency, etc., it could be a brief you've been given by internship, or you could go back to your ideas last summer and we can format those. It doesn't have to be a client based, it doesn't have to be a live brief. You're not going to get marked down, we're not going to kind of prejudice your grade, but I think that it is a good opportunity to do a real world brief in this, and then you're going to work on your template in the weeks to come. So these are kind of things you want to think about. These are some things we'll be talking about in the early few weeks in tutorials with myself and Elizabeth, of what you're going to do, what your challenge is, what advertising solution you are solving, what media platforms, who's your target audience. Again, I think it relates back to what you've just done with your competitive, and also definitely your ad collab, where you had a certain target audience from a charity, who are they trying to talk to, what language, etc. So I think that's still fresh in your mind. I think it's a good thing. And then, as we say, if you're not sure, or if you need help, reach out to us. We will support you. So you'll be having a template, and then you'll be working on that, and then you guys will present your template in a few weeks, and then that's what you stick to. And obviously this sits by side then by your other 20 credit module. So it's all about your FMP. So a PDF of 80 slides. If you guys then have a locomotion stuff or a YouTube link, obviously you can add that additionally. So similar to what you've just handed in for Ad Collab, if you've got a 90-second ad and a few edits of that, we don't mind we'll take that in addition. But really, you wouldn't lock down a PDF of all your research, all your analysis, development, and a final campaign. If you want to print assets, or do a book or a magazine, that's fine as well. You can submit that, physical objects. But again, that's stuff we can talk about in the weeks to come. Just scrolling down here, key dates. So we launch at the start of semester 2, and then the week of the 27th, so 3 weeks, and you're going to pitch to your peers my final lockdown proposal. You're going to get feedback from ourselves and your peers, and then you need to email to your SGT, small group tutorial. So either Elizabeth or myself, you can have weekly sessions, and then you need to email us. So if you say you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you then have to deliver that. So it's up to you then to manage your 12 weeks. Then we can do formative assessments the week after, see where you guys are at, and then hand in is the 12th of May. So it's one assessment point. It's an 80-slide capped PDF. And then I won't go, but as third years, you do need to know all the grading criteria. You know this off by heart for now. And then I'll just scroll down, and then I'll just go down to your scheme of work. So as I said, you've got Elizabeth on a Monday, myself on a Friday. We will launch it. You'll be having tutorials, and then it's just a case of supporting you getting over the line. If you need additional access to green screens or photography or radio workshops, again, reach out. We can book all that and support you, whatever you guys need in order to produce this content. So I'm just going to scroll down to the scheme of work. So as I said, these are your groups. So if you've got a problem with that, let us know. Week 1, obviously, we're going to unpack the brief, unpack the module. So we put you into groups, and then we can have, once the module settles down, we're going to have tutorials to see how you guys are getting on. If you have any problems with those groups, obviously let me know, and we can rework it. No problem at all. But as it stands, we've got 8 SGT small group tutorial groups. And then the last thing I want to do through as I say, so it's Monday. You've got Elizabeth, CAD 302. Monday morning, you've got Elizabeth. Monday afternoon, Friday afternoon, you've got me. And then I won't go through that. But then obviously, as I said, we're going to introduce the module, so show you examples of good practice. You've got some lectures. And then what we're going to do, we're going to give you the template in the weeks to come. And then we can have workshops. And then by week 6, you're going to submit your proposal, which you stick to. So if you say, I'm going to do 5 outcomes based on this theme, then obviously we keep that template, And when we assess it, we use it as a guideline to what you guys are doing. Then obviously you've got Easter to work. Also during this time, you can hand in your D&AD. So once your D&AD goes off, there's less pressure because then obviously you specialize. Then with Elizabeth, are building your portfolio. And with us, myself, you were doing this. Then we've got pre-Easter tutorials. And then we have post-Easter tutorials. And then it's a case of handing it in. So that's the overview. We will see you at the start of semester 2. And then, as I said, we'll see you twice a week. Thanks, guys.